Welcome back to High, Wide, and Handsome, a racing podcast right here on the Arson Brothers Network. Got the whole gang lined up tonight. We'll start off with Mr. Sean Allen. How you doing with us this week, sir?
Oh man, we finally sort of broken out of the house a little bit now. So when y'all saw us last week, we were frozen over, kind of like the Clash, but we were out and moving and grooving and back to it. So that's good.
Absolutely. Size, we lost you again during this actual segment last week, although you did come back, but there's still some mystery surrounding some things, at least from what's going around on socials. I don't know.
I like to keep it ambiguous, Will he, won't he? But I'm ready for this tonight, boys. I am dog tired. It's been a wild week at work. I've been like the opposite of Richard Petty at Atlanta in '92. Instead of bring the fire extinguisher, I've been yelling, bring the blowtorch, because everything in my job's been frozen up and it's been rough.
Oh, that sounds miserable, dude.
Yeah.
You've snowed in and miserable a few times, and I've thought I could be in Size's boat, because I know you've been having a rough time since
it's been tough,
cold.
But hey, it's over now. Get to hang out with my boys, get to talk about this fun week of racing we've had, and get ready for the big one this weekend.
Oh, that's right. It is Daytona 500 week. And Jeff, have you healed up from your falls?
Yeah, I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. We're still, just dealing with mounds of ice everywhere. And I was out this morning trying to break ice to try to clear up the driveway a little bit, and that's still not really helped any. I don't know. I'm gonna have to get like a pickaxe or something. I don't know,
dude.
Doing good, man. I'm just dreaming Daytona dreams, acting like I'm in warmer places.
Yeah, well, same here, man. The Daytona getting me through this. It could have been worse, but it's been a sucky January and into February around here, and I know a lot of the country as far as dealing with snow and ice. But yeah, we're getting on the better side of things, and like we said, it's Daytona 500 week, boys.
It's what we wait for, right? It's been a long time since November, so we're ready for it.
Yeah,
that's right.
Kicking it off big. I can't wait.
That's right. Well, I say we get right into it and move into our next segment.
Let's do it.
All right, that puts us on the lead lap, where we discuss all things NASCAR. And as we just said, of course, it is Daytona 500 week, and we're coming off some form of the Clash.
The marathon Clash.
I feel like I'm still there sometimes.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, man. We almost had tickets for that. Like, I almost pulled the trigger on us some tickets for that and thought, like, literally, we're really begging at the last minute. Like, I was pulling the trigger, and she was like, it's such a gamble. And I was like, yeah. And I didn't. And I'm glad.
Yeah, I know even, like, last year, November, December, me and you had talked about doing Saturday, going to, like, the late models and then watching the heat races. And, yeah, tickets were relatively inexpensive, but even that, I'm still glad we didn't waste the money on them.
Yeah, it just would have been even that Wednesday night, like, we in some capacity probably could have pulled it off to win, but it'd just been miserable. But since we're on the Clash, we'll just dive into the Clash. We saw, I thought, a decent bit of racing in the first half. It was actually kind of racier than I expected, as far as, like, you could pass. Obviously, a lot of bumping and banging, but that is Bowman Gray.
Yeah, I felt like it took a little while to pick up. Like, the first half of the first half, like the first 50 or so laps, there wasn't a lot of going on. I think guys were just still trying to, like, fill things out, maybe. I don't know. But after that, they got hot, and this is good racing.
It really was. I was impressed by the racing. It gives me hope for the short track package this season. That was the first peak we had it in, and that's not in its entirety. There's some more things I think will help that will be on the full package.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree with you. It kind of, the first half, definitely we saw some promise. Hopefully we'll get some of that at Martinsville and places. My favorite track, right? I want Martinsville to come back to prominence. But I'll tell you, did things take quite the turn in that second 100 laps, boys?
It was day to night. When the sleet fell, everything certainly changed. On track, off track, everywhere. In the officiating booth, they seemed to go a little wild.
I mean, honestly, it was like watching two completely different races.
Yeah.
The first half of that race and the second half of that race could have been on separate ends of the country by how they looked and felt watching and how the drivers were driving. It was wild.
It really was. It was something to see. It was a spectacle. Yeah. Before we get, I want to talk about the rain tires, the procedure of that. And before we get into that, there's probably going to be some officiating bashing, perhaps. But I do want to say, I commend NASCAR. They were in a tough spot with this whole race that night. Lots of factors, and you're there in the moment making these major decisions. I do understand it's tough. Well, I'll disclaimer, I guess, with that.
Yeah, I think it's always easy in hindsight to look back and say, well, this or that. But they were there making those decisions, so it's tough. I mean, man, the Clash was awesome until it wasn't.
Yeah.
That's the best way I know to describe it. And the second half, it was still, I was still watching race cars on the track. It was just,
the second half, what it was. If we could have got some racing without so many cautions, it was actually pretty entertaining what little bit of battling we got even in the rain, but just mired by those caution after caution, and then it just became like a joke, kind of.
Yeah.
Hey, then we got to see my pick for Breakout Star of the Year. Get his first non-points paying win, but that bodes well for RFK and the season. I'm just saying. Yeah,
you're not wrong. I thought it was cool to see Preece pick up that win. He certainly, he drove his butt off to earn that one. Everybody, It was fun watching up and down through the field. So many people were up and down, especially if you look at the first half and the second half, even just in the second half alone. But if you look at the whole race, it was almost like everyone led and everyone was in the back at some point.
Hey, we got to see awesome runs from SVG.
Yeah.
Connor was up there pushing. Carson Hocevar, Preece. It felt very refreshing to see all those faces up front, and like you said, man, it just gives me hope for the whole short track package for the whole year, and how maybe some of these guys might be able to run.
Daniel Suarez.
Yeah,
he hit everything with the pace car, but he ended up with a good run.
I'll tell you what.
He after Trackhouse, man.
Yeah, he hit anything that had track. He hit anything that had Trackhouse on it. I'm pretty sure.
I think I saw him run over a pit bull CD.
I guess the thing for me, my biggest issue. Again, I enjoyed those race cars on the TV, and I was enjoying that. But there's just no world where the Clash should take as long as the Daytona 500 does on average, and that was where we were getting to. Average time for the 500's 3.5 hours roughly, and this whole thing was about roughly 3.5 hours. Now that's not. There's a lot of unfairness in that, right? There were starts and stops.
But
all the things, but still, it's just there's no world that should be. So while I enjoyed it, it was the novelty of it, and in some ways I think this was kind of like the trial and error thing they did in California. I think it's time maybe to move on from this and do a Clash in another either another location or another way or something, because it got to be a lot toward the end. It really did.
Yeah.
Did.
All of us here love to see cars on tracks. We love watching racing. That's why we're doing this. It's why we have this podcast, and it's why we spend all of our time watching racing. But that second half of the race, at some point, due to so many cautions, both legitimate cautions and official caution there, it was draining. Like at some point, I was like, dang, this is just hard to watch at this point. It's just going so slowly. But, again, you'll have that in the Appalachian Mountains in the first week of February. You can't predict the weather around here. It gets wild. And just something to learn from going forward.
That's right.
Well, my couple quick things. The rain tire procedures, a lot of people upset on either. We saw Hocevar actually put on. Actually, a lot of things came out the next day that you didn't know of that night. Hocevar put on dry tires, ran I think 7 laps before they realized it, and then they freaked out and said everyone has to have them on. Which, I mean, I get that has been the thing, but the argument from apparently all the drivers and crew chiefs, at least for the most part, is let us put them on as we will, much like how F1 does. There's a huge debate there. And secondly, the fueling procedure, which at first I was pro them stopping for the caution and the fueling, and I even said they should give Larson and Byron spots back, a lap back, however you want to be, which, I mean, that's not really NASCAR, but in this odd scenario. But then the next day I found out that about half the teams didn't want the stop and half the teams did, which means some teams took more fuel than others, which, I mean, certainly is strategy. But then I was kind of against it, because if you run out, you run out. You made your bed, especially on an exhibition race, especially when we've been going for 3.5 hours, as we just said. So I think the fuel thing ended up being my grievance after all the information came out.
Yeah. I agree with you 100%, Matt. And, yeah, I was kind of upset, especially about the fuel thing. Like, when it happened, I was like, no, this is not how you do this. This is not how teams are supposed to refuel. I mean, if you run out of fuel on the track, caution gets thrown, something you get pushed to the pits. But, then, being a somewhat rational adult human being, I thought about it and I'm like, look, this is an exhibition race. It's not points. It's not, a race that really matters in the season. This is the place where you want to work out these kinks. This is your time to, kind of see what works and what doesn't work in this situation, to see how teams respond, to see how fans respond. So hopefully, they'll take in what they learned from, the decisions they made at the Clash, and we won't have those issues going forward in the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, all these are unique scenarios, certainly, as well. But, I mean, we got a Clash in finally. So this is done.
It did happen, so we got that going for us.
That's right. And congrats to Ryan Preece. I don't want to take away from, that win. It was impressive to see. And a very emotional victory lane interview. Which was cool. He was dropping F-bombs like they were going out of style, but it was cool to see some emotion.
Actually, short track racing.
So I was just going to mention real fast. Speaking of Victory Lane, I am sure that people were about froze to death and trying to get out of there. But it was so quiet; it was giving me COVID flashbacks. So I had a little PTSD watching that, because you got this guy so excited and for very good reason. But it sounded so quiet in there, and I was just like, "Oh man, I can't live this again." That's what it felt like.
Yeah, no doubt. But well, nonetheless, it is Daytona 500 week. The big one.
Great American race.
Absolutely. We got, I guess it's Speed Week instead of week, so we do have racing. We're recording on Monday, starting in a couple nights from now. We got something on track every day. I think there's some practice Wednesday morning. Qualifying will be Wednesday night. The dual qualifying races Thursday night. Trucks Friday, Rally Series Saturday evening. I guess ARCA Saturday day as well. And certainly Cup Sunday, and then practice segments somewhat along the way. We'll play off of that hype and talk about this as well. Did you guys see the Super Bowl spots from NASCAR and from Toyota, which featured Bubba Wallace?
I thought both were awesome. Man, I love NASCAR spot. I think that was quite good. Everything about it. I was like, I actually showed it to my wife right before we recorded, because I was like, you got to see this. I thought it was really cool. I mean, and the way that they incorporated everything in there, with like getting to see, Cletus and Carson doing the burnouts in the Mike Skinner truck, the Dell truck.
Yeah.
Getting to see, and Bubba and them recreating the Friday spot. The close up Ross smashing the watermelon. I thought it was great, and it got me really hyped. So that to me felt like the real kickoff. I was like, all right, I'm ready to do this, and it made me think, hell yeah,
Yeah, that is. We have now. It is official. We are in the hell yeah era. We'd heard that, but we have now seen it officially. And I saw today on some other promo things they had on socials and stuff. So we are in our hell yeah era.
Now, when I was a teenager, I thought Danica Patrick looked a lot like Gretchen Wilson. So I think that's going to work into this hell yeah here. Hell yeah.
So I'll go to a different angle here. I really enjoyed the Toyota spot that had Bubba in it. I really like seeing NASCAR, our stars in the mix with all these other people, and Puka Nakua and from the NFL and all these other people that are out doing their thing too. I like that integration like that. And I thought that was really cool. I popped hard for that. The other one, I don't know that I loved it quite to the level that Jeff did. I mean, I think it's cool. I hope it works in bringing in a wider range of audience. I mean, to get me amped, I just need to see the cars doing their thing in those spots. That's what does it for me. But I also don't think me, a 42-year-old lifelong fan, is who they're trying to reach with that spot either. So I totally get that. But I really love the Toyota one and Bubba being in there with all those other personalities from other sports and things. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that's super cool.
I haven't got to see it yet. I didn't get off work till almost 11 o'clock last night, so I haven't got to check out the commercials. I'm definitely going to look them up on YouTube, but I think Sean sent some of the still pictures from it in our group chat, and Bubba and a cute kid. What can go wrong?
Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed both. The Bubba one, really enjoyed. It's really a little emotional, to be honest with you. Like, it can pull on your heartstrings. I sent it to Megan, and she was like, "I'm crying," but it was in a good way. It's a very positive commercial, and as Sean said, it's great to see Air Stars back in those spots on Super Bowl ads. It used to be pretty commonplace. I guess a while ago at this point, but it used to be very commonplace. So that was good to see. In the NASCAR spot, I thought it was excellent. Good at hyping. I thought the smartest thing of it was having it. You have Cletus in your pocket, utilize him, and they did, and I think that's smart because Cletus is huge. Love him, hate him, but it doesn't matter. He's huge, and he's in for NASCAR, so utilize that.
Yep.
It's going to be fun to see him in that truck race. That truck race is stacked.
It really is, man. It feels like a main event. That's just the opening salvo, really.
Yeah. I think for the first time in a few years, and this is not a knock on O'Reilly Daytona race because obviously I'm pumped for that, but I think the Truck Series race got a little more hype than the O'Reilly at this one particular weekend, just because so much star power in that race. And I guess, which will lead us to our next segment in a bit, but the Ram stuff, I think a lot of people are curious on that, and especially with Tony Stewart in there.
Yeah, it's a wild smoke being in a truck. I'm just interested to see how well he does. I mean, obviously, when he was driving Cup cars, he was incredible at it, but he's been retired for a few years now. He did the drag race and stuff, and he did pretty well at it, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just interested to see what's going to happen with him in a truck.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I saw he's putting out, I guess, a series of videos with iRacing. He's been using iRacing, maybe they're in their actual studio. I haven't got to watch it, but to prepare and test, and I guess they did a video series around that.
That's cool.
But yeah, that'll be super interesting. Awesome. Travis Pastrana, it's wild.
Yeah, it's awesome too to see this shine on the Truck Series. It feels like it's been a while, really, and so I'm really enjoying that. Hey, right before we came on, not too long ago, we got the announcement: Kyle Busch back in some ways related to Hendrick Motorsport. Hey, that might be my first Hendrick nugget of our reboot, guys. No, Spire Motorsports. Yeah, 8 races with Spire Motorsports in the HendrickCars.com truck. I love seeing that. And that's just, I don't know what's going on with the Truck Series. Things are wild.
I know. The resurgence. Feels like the early 2000s when the Truck Series was a lot of older stars, what have you, and certainly the people coming down and racing from the current Cup Series and younger stars, and it's at least this Daytona race is certainly going to be a mix of that. Hopefully we get a bit of that all throughout the season. It's really fun.
Absolutely.
Well, anything else on the NASCAR side before we head south to Daytona?
Who do you guys think is going to get those open spots in the Daytona 500? I know one guy that I think is going to get in. So
yeah,
I think
Allgaier gets in.
I think Allgaier's likely to get in that situation.
Corey LaJoie make his way.
I think Corey LaJoie's got a good shot, primarily because he's going to have a lot of help. I guess potentially on how it falls in the duels, but they'll have 4 cars, so he's going to at least most likely have one other, at minimum, partner in there. So I think that goes a long way in those races.
Is he doing trucks for Henderson at Daytona?
Yeah, he's doing trucks for Henderson and Cup for, or hopefully, for him's sake, hopefully Cup for RFK.
Nice.
I did see that Brad Kozlowski officially got his license. He's cleared.
Yep.
Good.
I didn't see
He's
that.
a licensed driver finally.
Yeah, I saw that. Brad was officially clear to race.
And another thing, I just real quick, I always enjoy seeing who gets the pole for Daytona. That always to me feels like such a big thing every year because that's like your first, big kind of crowning achievement. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. We've seen a lot of younger guys pull it off, in the last several years too. So we'll see what happens there. But I'm looking forward to that. This is just such an exciting week, y'all.
Yeah.
I love this.
It is.
Once you get to Wednesday, cars on the track every day. Let's go.
One of my favorite sports weeks of the year. Just that first Daytona 500 kicking off the season. First real big race we've seen since last year. It's just so much excitement.
It is. And I think always, certainly this year, a ton of winter, but we're always in the midst of winter up here. It comes on, it's sunny in Florida down there for most of what we're seeing. So it at least gets us started feeling those spring vibes a little bit. And it just makes everything better.
That's right.
All right, we'll wrap up the lead lap for this week. We'll be back next week with Daytona 500 wrap up. Can't wait. All right, that puts us time for the Bull Ring Report. We'll get in certainly to the finale of the Ram race for the seat that we've been on, but I want to mention first the World Series of Asphalt. The 60th annual is underway currently in New Smyrna Speedway, New Smyrna Beach, Florida. They're probably racing as we speak, I guess, but we had some awesome racing over the weekend. In the Super Lates, Gabe Summers pulled off one on night 1, and then Jade Avedition got a big win on night 2. That's a young lady that I think could certainly end up in the NASCAR ranks probably within the next few years, honestly. One to keep your eye on there, in my opinion.
Yeah, I haven't seen a race, but I've seen a lot of talk on, racing social media and stuff about her, and I'm interested to see what she can do. Yeah,
me too. I've watched her in the Cars Tour. She's good, and just that race down New Smyrna, she dominated it, but she was just so clean and smooth all night. I think she's really, really coming into her spot. It's going to be interesting to watch, see where it goes. I'll mention it's fun to watch on this Ryan Preece, fresh off of the Clash win. He's been down there running in late model and modified.
Nice.
So that's kind of cool to see some of that. Kind of a throwback to a lot of drivers used to go over there and run that more so. But so I thought that was cool. He said, he was leading one point in the late model race, but then kind of fell off. But yeah, they're running, I think, through Wednesday night, maybe. Modifieds. Also running
cool.
Justin Bonsignor. He's ran some Xfinity Series stuff. Yeah, it's on Flow. Justin Bonsignor got a big modified win. And he's done some Xfinity, or I guess O'Reilly stuff for Gibbs. Bobby Lamoni and Ryan Newman running all the modified stuff down there. But anyway, I wanted to mention that, of course.
Cool.
It's crazy that's been going on for 60 years.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, that's
wild. It really is.
Once more Flow, you need to hook us up so all of us can watch it. Be talking
we don't want money.
Be reviewing it.
We just
Flow
want
ain't Flow ain't a sponsor, but they can be.
That's right.
We need you. All right, and that gets us to what was the finales. A couple episodes of Ram Race for the Seat. It's over. We have a winner.
Minnie!
Yeah, the worst kept secret if you paid attention to some testing over the winter and things, but nonetheless, it's cool to see Minnie Tyrrell get crowned as the winner of that overall challenge show and full-time ride in the Truck Series.
Yeah. That's awesome. I think Minnie had a great personality. I think he can be a driver that like fans can latch on to, especially seeing him start his career through the show, watching him get the job. I really hope that he does well in the Truck Series and he can, I mean, he doesn't even have to move up. He can be a lifetime trucker. I just hope that he does well in it because I think that, that's a really good way to build a fan base with what they did. And I think Minnie was one of the best guys you could have picked to put in that place with his personality and with his driving skills.
Yeah, absolutely. I like Minnie a lot too. I finally figured it out. I had followed him on social media through his charitable work for a long time. That's how I knew he was. Does a lot of good stuff there.
Nice.
Came across really well on the show. Turned it on when he had to. Man, it was close there at that last episode to get in, and in his heat, he turned it on and got it done when he had to, and showed he had the driving ability to go along with all that other. So yeah, absolutely really happy for him. Can't wait to see how he does this season.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool to see him right soon get a shot. I saw a lot of people complaining that it was all Cars Tour people drivers, which it was a lot, but also, I mean, like, that's basically your Cars Tour is right under ARCA anywhere the next NASCAR now, whether you like that or not. That's the case.
Yeah.
Jeff, what do you think about Minnie taking the win?
Oh man, I was gonna make a joke and say, so was the race for the seat what you would call a mini series? But no, I was. I mean, honestly, like I somehow managed to kind of stay away from a lot of the spoilers. I didn't know for sure. I had a suspicion that he was going to be who won, but he was one of the guys I would have wanted to win from the beginning. I liked him. I liked Michael Christopher Jr. I liked a lot. I mean, pretty much everybody. I would have been okay with. But I think Minnie was a really cool win, and I'm like Size. I think he's going to connect with people, and I think he's going to have a pretty cool little career there. And I know it's like a 1-year deal he got, right?
I think so.
I hope he does well enough to make that turn into a multi-year deal.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so too. And as Sean said, it's cool. Someone who's doing a lot of charitable work. Hopefully, he can build on that as well. I'm sure he would like to. We will mention they had the final actual race there for $50,000 and a start at Martinsville in one of their trucks, and Carson Ferguson pulled that off in an emotional one. He really just missed the whole shebang and then come back and got that win. It was kind of cool to see.
Yeah, I thought that was cool too, man. I like Carson as well.
Yeah.
That was really great. I mean, I couldn't have been more pleased with how that worked out as far as those two guys getting it done. I mean, Carson showed a lot of speed and things that he'd never driven before in places, and that was that was great. Absolutely. I personally, I was going to just put out there, I absolutely loved the last episode. It was all racing. And it was the kind of cars that I like to see the most. You know what I'm saying? Like I just really enjoyed everything that happened there, and then during that finale for sure.
Yeah, Carson also showed he knew his way around a CrossFit, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this series, and I hope if Minnie or Daniel Dye or somebody, a Ram driver, goes up to O'Reilly or up to Cup, I really hope that if they have to fill that seat again, they do something similar. Like, it's just been fun. It's been a great way to learn about these guys and connect with the drivers, and that's one of the most important things I think about being a fan, is just having that connection with the driver.
Yeah,
I think this show has been great for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's been fantastic. It would be great if we could have it every off season during the winter. But I mean, again, as we said last week, I don't know how that holds up for the future. But I think it sends a great spotlight on some young guys that a lot of people don't know. I think Michael Christopher Jr. certainly deserves a look at right now. We saw him this show. Landon Huffman, he's been around for a minute, comes from Lineage. I think he certainly deserves a look, or we'll say another look, because he's got looks before. And I think Jared Fryer. Yeah, Huffman's had some starts.
Yeah.
Jared Fryer, I thought was impressive as well.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I have a really big request. Can we get Chris Rice in the booth for a cup race or something? Because I'll tell you, he cracked me the heck up.
He is a wild
how excited
man.
he was about everything that happened. I mean, get him on in the Xfinity races instead of Joey all the time. That might be a fun gig every now and then or something. Because
Actually,
I was
I
very
agree
much
with you,
entertained.
John, but I will say that I saw for whatever reason, that was like one of the things that was kind of polarizing people.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people that hated him on there.
That was what I
loved him.
saw most, yes.
That's kind of me. Like, I didn't hate him, but like sometimes I would absolutely love him, and sometimes I would just be so annoyed by him. I was like, man, just calm down a bit. But
this is coming from a guy. This is coming from a guy that's a Clint Boyer guy.
And Mikey Waltrip.
I thought there was a few times he was a little much for me, but for the most part, I did enjoy Rice's enthusiasm. My funnest takeaway from that was watching his enthusiasm rub off on Ty Norris and watching him get really animated, something at least I've never saw. Maybe he does, but it was cool to see on camera.
Does all that money weigh Matt Collick down to where he can't get excited? Is that I'm telling you?
I did notice
Rice
that.
was swinging off the fences, and he's just over there like, whatever. I mean, I don't know, man.
No disrespect, Mr.
Chris
Collick.
Rice should be brought on for any caution flag through in a race because he loves to throw a caution. He gets So that should be the Chris Rice caution flag. They should rename it.
Not to turn away any potential sponsorship money or cash that Matt Collick or Collick Racing wants to send to us, but I think if you have enough certain injections into this part of your face, you probably don't show a whole lot of emotion. You got a swollen can of green beans and you suck out the botulism.
kind of that Kenny Rogers look.
Well, we're not getting on race for the season 2. And Size, you're not getting on South Boston track still. Oh,
jeez.
All right. That'll wrap up this week's Bull Ring Report.
Ring her up.
And now it's time for this week's Hall of Fame, the segment where we show hauls and goodies from our collection. This week we got something from Sean. What you got good for us, boy?
So this is we're keeping the theme going. This is from one of our trips last year. I think this was our Bristol Xfinity trip, which has sort of became a tradition for us. One of my favorite trips. But this is not from the tents. This is actually from one of the official haulers. There's a guy that I am a huge fan of. I know you guys like too. I'm a really big fan of is Raja Caruth. Yeah. And Raja, it is hard for whatever reason, but till this JMR thing came along, now there seems to be ample Raja merch out there. It was hard to find his stuff. Spire didn't have it on their websites, that kind of thing. So it was a little bit difficult. But so I wandered up to actually the NASCAR Classics hauler and came across this really cool Raja hat, which I like a whole lot. Didn't even know they made. I thought that was a really cool hat. So I come up there and tell the guy, hey, I'm definitely want to get that Raja hat. Well, they don't stop there. While I'm up there, the gentleman tells me, hey, since you're buying a Raja hat, I got something else for you. Raja did a sighting here the day before, I think it was, and he left some of his hero cards signed.
Oh, nice.
But for anybody that bought his stuff, so bought a hat, ended up with a really cool Raja autograph. The guy that was working that trailer, he actually told me that Raja is one of the coolest people they get to work with. He said probably the coolest. He kind of talked about how he himself collects, I think it was like the enamel pins kind of thing, and when Raja always brings him some from his travels and just stuff like that, talking about what a cool guy he was. So kind of makes you feel good when somebody you support, is doing stuff like that, leaving free stuff, and people's got really good stuff to say about him. So shout out to our guy Raja, man. Some pretty cool merch of his that picked up at Bristol last year.
Man, that's so awesome. Like I was saying earlier, building that connection with the fans. That's how you grow the sport. That's how you grow a driver. You get the driver to make that connection with the fans. And glad to see Raja's out there doing it strong.
Absolutely, yeah.
Hoping for big stuff from him this year in Xfinity. Yeah. Well, O'Reilly.
Yeah. Well, he's absolutely. I definitely am. And the good thing is, since now he's got that junior stuff on his side, he's got lots of merch out there now. So it's really weird. He was the most popular driver in truck 2 years in a row, but getting your hands on some of his stuff was a little hard sometimes. So anyway, so hope that good things this season for sure.
Awesome. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Awesome stuff there. Amazing pickup and amazing tail to go with it. Excellent. All right. That'll wrap up the Hall of Fame. That puts us on the cool down lap. Boy, we're going to wind this thing right down, boys. Oh, yeah. It's been a hot one, been a fun one. And now it's time to go Daytona racing.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts?
I want to know, has anybody seen the weather for Daytona? Look.
I will say I heard rumors of rain.
Yeah, I did too. I think for the Friday night truck race is the big rain concern right now, sadly.
Yeah. Well, and don't forget this weekend, not only Daytona, but Valentine's Day, boys. So you got to work in, some time with your lady, with your loved one while you're trying to get in that race. And it might be difficult.
Yeah. I have a very, very strategic plan in place that I hope works out.
I am taking advantage of being able to record things here. That's
I'm just excited for this whole week. I'm excited for tonight, honestly, guys. I mentioned in the beginning, it's been a wild week for me at work. It's been late nights and just tough days dealing with all this freezing and stuff. And now it's warming up. It's supposed to be in the 50s here this week.
Yeah.
It's race week. I get to spend my Tuesday night, talking racing, having a good time with the boys, and hopefully people are watching and enjoying this. I'm just so excited. I got so much energy inside me just because of how pumped I am for this week.
Nice, man. Yeah, I love it.
Absolutely. And it's just the thoughts that, we're going to have some racing trips coming up this year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And, even hitting the dirt track, hitting different places. Yeah. We're going to have such a good racing season. I'm excited, man. I really am. And I'm glad that we have this show to document that for everyone else to do, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll be filming vlogs as we go on those race trips when we get to that point as well. And who knows what we'll find on those adventures.
That's right. AB's taking over the Rock this year.
Yeah, Woo! We are. We're going to Rockingham, so that's going to be super fun new track to see for us.
Yeah, and I think that's a new track for all of us, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think so. The only one of us who's going who I don't think's been to the NASCAR track, but has actually raced on the drag strip beside it is our crew chief, my dad, Kendall Google.
Oh, man. I didn't know the Google ran down there. That's awesome. I know he did a lot of, in the 70s, 80s, did a lot of the drag stuff. I know he ran Rockingham. That's cool.
Yeah, he's ran Rockingham.
I can't wait till we can get him on here to talk to everybody.
I know he's going to come on. It's going to happen at some point here soon. Maybe after the 500, but soon nonetheless.
I hope so. And Google is our Larry Mack, just a wealth of knowledge to bring in here and just put us all to shame.
Hey, I'll just say, last year probably the favorite I watched all year was watching Sonoma with Kendall last year. That was awesome. Me and him just sit and watched it. Watching him pop for SVG was awesome. It got me excited.
Yeah, no doubt. He came over. We watched the Clash together, actually, though. That was, or we survived the Clash together, I should say.
Were you able to keep him awake for the whole thing?
Yeah, he got a good napper in for the heat earlier in the day. But
I don't blame him. Smartest man I know.
That's right. And Hey, listen, I was just going to say, speaking of sponsorships, Fig Newtons, if you're listening.
We got the Fig gang.
If you want to help some guys go to some races and get some exposure, let us know.
Yeah. Hey, if we're at the track, we're munching the figs, baby.
That's right.
That's right. We'll do a Fig promo at the track.
Hey, you guys were talking earlier about Valentine's Day. I saw a social media post it was either from Richard Childress Racing or Kyle Busch won. that said for me to be ready to spend my Valentine's Day with Kyle Busch. So is that what you're talking about? Am I getting rowdy on Valentine's?
Well, there is the whole Kyle Busch no sex thing on door bumper clears.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess if he wins, you might get some action. Would be I think that's.
I mean, just pack you a zone and try not to sell any insurance.
Oh man, we'll end on that zinger. All right, that's been a blast, guys. Good stuff.
Yeah.
We will be back next week, wrapping up the 500. We're excited. Be sure to watch all the racing this weekend. Be sure to subscribe to the Arson Brothers Network. Look at the trophy man down there.
I'm gonna need therapy.
That's right. We have to pick fantasy drivers this week, boys. Fantasy is back.
I wouldn't have
I kinda
picked you.
forgot
Remind
about
me.
that.
Hey, all I'm gonna say is heavy's the head that wears the crown size. Keep showing it.
Oh no, we can't put that on the internet.
We're out of time. We're out of time.
Oh man. All right. If that's not an ending, I don't know what is. We'll see you later.